Question 1. What might you expect to happen in this situation? B. Traffic will move into the left-hand lane. Be courteous and allow the traffic to merge into the left-hand lane.
Minority. If you talk about a minority of people or things in a larger group, you are referring to a number of them that forms less than half of the larger group, usually much less than half.
Question 2. What may help to deter a thief from stealing your car? C. Etching the registration number on the windows. Having your car registration number etched on all your windows is a cheap and effective way to deter professional car thieves. Question 3. You're traveling along this road. How should you pass the cyclist? C. Leave them plenty of room as you pass. Allow the cyclist plenty of room in case they wobble or swerve around a pothole or raised drain. Look well ahead before you start to overtake, because you'll need to cross the hazard line. Look for entrances where vehicles could be waiting to pull out. Question 4. What should you do if a vehicle pulls out in front of you at a junction? C. Slow down and be ready to stop. Try to anticipate what other drivers might do. Look and plan ahead so that you're ready to respond safely if a hazard develops. Be tolerant of road users who make mistakes. Question 5. You're driving on a motorway. What does it mean if the car in front shows its hazard warning lights for a short time? D. Traffic ahead is slowing or stopping suddenly. If the vehicle in front shows its hazard warning lights, there may be an incident, stopped traffic, or queuing traffic ahead. By keeping a safe distance from the vehicle in front, you're able to look beyond it and see any hazards well ahead. Question 6. What does this sign mean? B. No parking on the days and times shown. Urban clearways are provided to keep traffic flowing at busy times. You may stop only briefly to set down or pick up passengers. Times of operation will vary from place to place, so always check the signs. Question 7. Where should you stop to rest if you feel tired while you're traveling along a motorway? A. At the nearest service area. If you feel tired, stop at the nearest service area. If that's too far away, leave the motorway at the next exit and find a safe place to stop. You mustn't stop on the carriageway or hard shoulder of a motorway except in an emergency, when in a traffic queue, or when signaled to do so by a police officer, a traffic officer, or traffic signals. Plan your journey so that you have regular rest stops. Question 8. At an incident, it's important to look after any casualties. What should you do with them when the area is safe? C. Keep them where they are. When the area is safe and there's no danger from other traffic or fire, it's better not to move casualties. Moving them may cause further injury. Question 9. You're on a motorway. When can you use hazard warning lights? B. When you slow down quickly because of danger. R. Briefly using your hazard warning lights will warn the traffic behind you that there's a hazard ahead. Turn them off again when following drivers have seen and responded to your signal. Question 10. You're driving on a clear night. Which lights should you use if the national speed limit applies and there's a steady stream of oncoming traffic? A. Dipped headlights. Use the full beam headlights only when you can be sure that you won't dazzle other road users. Question 11. What should you do when a person herding sheep asks you to stop? C. Stop and switch off your engine. If someone in charge of animals asks you to stop, you should do so and switch off your engine. Animals are unpredictable and startle easily. They could turn and run into your path or into the path of another moving vehicle. Question 12. Where would you find these road markings? B. At a mini roundabout. These markings show the direction in which the traffic should go at a mini roundabout. Question 13. How should you drive in areas with traffic calming measures? A. At a reduced speed. Traffic calming measures such as road humps, chicanes and narrowings are intended to slow drivers down to protect vulnerable road users. Don't speed up until you reach the end of the traffic calmed zone. Question 14. Why should you slow down as you approach this hazard? D. Because of the level crossing. You should be slowing down and selecting the correct gear in case you have to stop at the level crossing. Look for the signals and be prepared to stop if necessary. Question 15. What does it mean if you see this signal on the motorway? B. Leave the motorway at the next exit. You'll see this sign if there has been an incident ahead and the motorway is closed. You must obey the sign. Make sure that you prepare to leave in good time. Don't cause drivers to take avoiding action by cutting in at the last moment. Question 16. Who's legally responsible for ensuring that a vehicle registration certificate, V5C, is updated? B. The registered vehicle keeper. It's your legal responsibility to keep the details on your vehicle registration certificate, V5C, up to date. You should tell the licensing authority about any changes. These include your name, address, or vehicle details. If you don't do this, You may have problems when you try to sell your vehicle. Question 17. Traffic officers operate on motorways and some primary routes in England and Wales. What are they authorised to do? D. Stop and direct anyone on a motorway. Traffic officers don't have enforcement powers but are able to stop and direct people on motorways and summer class roads. They operate in England and Wales and work in partnership with the police at incidents, providing a highly trained and visible service. They're recognised by an orange and yellow jacket and their vehicle has yellow and black markings. Question 18. What information would be shown in a triangular road sign? A. Road narrows. Warning signs are there to make you aware of potential hazards on the road ahead. Take note of the signs so you're prepared and can take whatever action is necessary. Question 19. What will happen if you use rear fog lights in good conditions? A. They'll dazzle other drivers. Rear fog lights shine more brightly than normal rear lights, so that they show up in reduced visibility. When the visibility improves, you must switch them off. This stops them dazzling the driver behind. Question 20. You want to reverse into a side road. What should you do if you aren't sure that the area behind your car is clear? C. Get out and check. If you can't tell whether there's anything behind you, it's always safest to check before reversing. There may be a small child or a low obstruction close behind your car. Question 21. What lights should you use when you're driving on a wet motorway and vehicles are throwing up surface spray? A. Dipped headlights. When surface spray reduces visibility, switch on your headlights on dipped beam. This will help other road users to see you. Question 22. What should you do when you're following a learner driver who stalls at a junction? A. Be patient, as you expect them to make mistakes. Learning to drive is a process of practice and experience. Try to understand this and tolerate those who make mistakes while they're learning. Question 23. Which sign means no entry? D. Look for and obey traffic signs. Disobeying or not seeing a sign could be dangerous. It may also be an offense for which you could be prosecuted. Question 24. What should you do if your mobile phone rings while you're driving or riding? B. Leave it until you have stopped in a safe place. It's illegal to use a handheld mobile or similar device when driving or riding, except in a genuine emergency. The safest option is to switch off your mobile phone before you set off, and use a message service. If you've forgotten to switch your phone off and it rings, you should leave it. When you've stopped in a safe place, you can see who called and return the call if necessary. Question 25. Where should you avoid overtaking? A. Approaching a dip in the road. Oncoming vehicles or other hazards can be hidden from view by dips in the road. If you can't see into the dip, wait until you have a clear view and can see that it's safe before starting to overtake. Question 26. What's covered by third-party insurance? A. Damage to other vehicles. Third-party insurance doesn't cover damage to your own vehicle or injury to yourself. If you have a crash and your vehicle is damaged, you might have to carry out the repairs at your own expense. Question 27. What should you do when you see this sign as you travel along a motorway? A. Leave the motorway at the next exit. You'll see this sign if the motorway is closed ahead. Pull into the left-hand lane as soon as it's safe to do so. Don't wait until the last moment before you move across, because the lane may be busy and you'll have to rely on another driver making room for you. Question 28. When should you use hazard warning lights? D. When your vehicle has broken down and is causing an obstruction. Hazard warning lights are an important safety feature and should be used if you've broken down and are causing an obstruction. Don't use them as an excuse to park illegally. You may also use them on motorways to warn traffic behind you of danger ahead. Question 29. What can you do to reduce environmental damage caused by your vehicle? A. Avoid making a lot of short journeys. Avoid using your car for short journeys. On a short journey, the engine is unlikely to warm up fully and will therefore be running less efficiently. This will result in the car using more fuel and emitting higher levels of harmful emissions. Question 30. How should you use anti-lock brakes when you need to stop in an emergency? C. Brake promptly and firmly until you've stopped. If you have ABS and need to stop in an emergency, keep your foot firmly on the brake pedal until the vehicle has stopped. When the ABS operates, you may hear a grating sound and feel vibration through the brake pedal. This is normal and you should maintain pressure on the brake pedal until the vehicle stops. Question 31. You're driving at night. What should you do if you're dazzled by a vehicle behind you? C. Set your mirror to the anti-dazzle position. The interior mirror of most vehicles can be set to an anti-dazzle position. You'll still be able to see the lights of the traffic behind you, but the dazzle will be greatly reduced. Question 32. You're driving towards a zebra crossing. What should you do if a person in a wheelchair is waiting to cross? A. Be prepared to stop. You should slow down and be prepared to stop, as you would for an able-bodied person. Don't wave them across, as other traffic may not stop. Question 33. In winter, road signs can become covered by snow. What does this sign mean? C. Stop. The stop sign is the only road sign that's octagonal. This is so that it can be recognized and obeyed even if it's obscured, for example, by snow. Question 34. If you're involved in a collision, what will reduce the risk of neck injury? B. A properly adjusted head restraint. If you're involved in a collision, head restraints will reduce the risk of neck injury. They must be properly adjusted. Make sure they aren't positioned too low. In a crash, this could cause damage to the neck. Question 35. What's the main cause of skidding? A. The driver. Skidding is usually caused by driver error. You should always adjust your driving to take account of the road and weather conditions. Question 36. You're driving in freezing conditions. What should you do as you approach a sharp bend? D. Slow down gently. Harsh use of the accelerator, brakes, or steering is likely to lead to skidding, especially on slippery surfaces. Avoid steering and braking at the same time. In icy conditions, it's very important that you constantly assess what's ahead so that you can take appropriate action in plenty of time. Question 37. You're about to drive home. What should you do if you feel very tired and have a severe headache? D. Wait until you're fit and well before driving. All of your concentration should be on your driving. Any pain you feel will distract you, and you should avoid driving when drowsy. The safest course of action is to wait until you've rested and are feeling better before starting your journey. Question 38. What will happen to your car when you drive up a steep hill? B. The engine will work harder. The engine will need more power to pull the vehicle up the hill. When approaching a steep hill, you should select a lower gear to help maintain your speed. You should do this without hesitation, so that you don't lose too much speed before engaging the lower gear. Question 39. What does this sign mean? B. End of restriction. Temporary restrictions on motorways are shown on signs that have flashing amber lights. At the end of the restriction, you'll see this sign without any flashing lights. Question 40. What should you do when you're passing loose sheep on the road? B. Go very slowly. Slow down and be ready to stop if you see animals in the road ahead. Animals are easily frightened by noise and vehicles passing too close to them. Stop if you're signaled to do so by the person in charge. Question 41. What could you do to help injured people at an incident? D. Keep them warm and comfortable. There are a number of things you can do to help, even without expert training. Be aware of further danger from other traffic and fire. Make sure the area is safe. People may be in shock. Don't give them anything to eat or drink. Keep them warm and comfortable and reassure them. Don't move injured people unless there's a risk of further danger. Question 42. You arrive at an incident. A pedestrian is bleeding heavily from a leg wound. The leg isn't broken and there's nothing in the wound. How could you help? A. Apply firm pressure over the wound. You should protect yourself from exposure to blood, and then apply firm pressure over the wound to stem the flow of blood. As soon as practical, fasten a pad to the wound with a bandage or length of cloth. Use the cleanest material available. Question 43. There are objects hanging from your interior mirror. Why could this be a hazard? C. Your view could be obstructed. Ensure that you can see clearly through the windscreen of your vehicle. Stickers or hanging objects could obstruct your view or draw your attention away from the road. Question 44. What does this sign mean? D. No motorcycles. You must comply with all traffic signs and be especially aware of those signs that apply specifically to the type of vehicle you're using. Question 45. What's most likely to distract you while you're driving? A. Using a mobile phone. Except for emergencies, it's illegal to use a handheld mobile phone while you're driving. Even using a hands-free kit can severely distract your attention. Question 46. On a road where trams operate, which vehicles will be most at risk from the tram rails? C. Cycles. The narrow wheels of a bicycle can become stuck in the tram rails, causing the cyclist to stop suddenly, wobble or even lose balance altogether. The tram lines are also slippery, which could cause a cyclist to slide or fall off. Question 47. You're approaching an unmarked crossroads. How should you deal with the junction? D. Slow down and look both ways. Be cautious, especially when your view is restricted by hedges, bushes, walls, large vehicles, etc. In the summer months, these junctions can become more difficult to deal with because growing foliage may further obscure your view. Question 48. What should you do if you're towing a trailer and it starts to swing from side to side? C. Ease off the accelerator to reduce your speed. Strong winds or buffeting from large vehicles can cause a trailer or caravan to swing from side to side, snake. If this happens, ease off the accelerator. Don't brake harshly, steer sharply, or increase your speed. Question 49. What does this sign mean? D. Pass either side to get to the same destination. These signs are often seen in one-way streets that have more than one lane. When you see this sign, use the route that's the most convenient and doesn't require a late change of direction. Question 50. Which vehicles should use the left-hand lane on a 3-lane motorway? A. Any vehicle that isn't overtaking. On a motorway, all traffic should use the left-hand lane unless overtaking. When overtaking a number of slower vehicles, move back to the left-hand lane when you're safely passed. Check your mirrors frequently and don't stay in the middle or right-hand lane if the left-hand lane is free.
Minority. If you talk about a minority of people or things in a larger group, you are referring to a number of them that forms less than half of the larger group, usually much less than half.